generally don't follow the especially not CNN, but I don't even have cable, because I it's just too much. But I do get all my news from from reading and social media and whatever, and just I think my cousin shared one of your posts. I had to do like a whole shutdown of everything because I was just overwhelmed by it. I got kids.
Yes.
Honestly, I got kids, so that was my only true concern. Is like, how do I, that. Sure. Yeah. Anyway, I do want to thank you for what you did.
Hey, you're very welcome, and you know what? You are one of hundreds of people who have told me that. I had no idea that that's what was going to happen. I went into this purely for selfish reasons. I was going to set up my experiment, separate myself from the world, follow the data, but I needed a way to document it.
Right.
Suddenly, thousands of people joined in. I mean, and I had no idea. Well, I mean, I knew other people would feel like me, but they didn't have the skill to do what I do. So they understood what I was doing, so they could follow along.
Yes. Well, so we could at least follow it. Not that we understood, but
exactly.
you presented it in a way that there was a constant. It was awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome because it was constant. It wasn't that because it was data driven.
Yes, and it was a symbiotic thing because if I had to be by myself for all that time, I don't think I would have been able to do it. I'm more interactive than that. So as I became more verbal and more verbose online, people began reacting, and it was like a great catalyst. So it was good for everybody. I think it was, it was a ground up natural phenomenon.
Yeah, I know myself, and then even my fiance, we looked forward to your post, and it wasn't that we didn't believe the hype, like in our hearts.
Yeah.
And we didn't want the confirmed bias. We didn't want that bias, like but we trusted in you, and because it just started. Because I remember in the beginning, it wasn't all coming together, and then I remember that all of a sudden it was like deep, 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 and it was like
it blew up. Yeah.
The system, it started to work, and then I really started to understand it. So it was fantastic.
Yeah, well, I started with really bad assumptions, and then just about. I swear, it felt like a cat and mouse game. I know. I mean, I'm just some guy in a hole in the wall. Nobody's following me, but it felt like every time I got the tiger by the tail, the tiger started running a different direction. And there were multiple things along the way, and the thing that was frustrating about it is I've been monitoring all these other countries, and I didn't have this problem. But in America, we have got a serious political problem.
Yeah.
Because we can't even put data up like other countries can do. I mean, that's just weird. So that's another story.
If not sinister. Doug, let me ask you if you feel comfortable. I got my YouTube channel up. I'll keep it private, but this will help me for recording for me to take more notes and stuff. Do you mind if I record? It's just audio.
Not a bit.
Brilliant. Okay, so it says Dr. Doug on your thing. You are a doctor?
Ph.D. Yep.
And in what?
My Ph.D. is Surface Electrical Chemistry. And when I try to explain what it is to people, the simple way to think of it is you put a piece of metal in water and you put electricity on it. That's the simple. And then, there are all kinds of things that happen when you do that. Like there's electroplating, there's rust, there's corrosion, there's dissolving. You make special coatings that way. And people say, well, who cares about that? Well, let me tell you why you care about that. That's the way all of your cells work. That's the way all of your enzymes work. That's the way all of nature works. Everything happens at a surface. And so the cool thing is you use electrochemistry, you can actually control what happens at a surface and study what happens at a surface. So it's like the perfect place to model any chemical reaction you want to model. There you go.
That's a hell of a. So why did you? So what you do with the surface electricity thing? Sorry.
Yeah. No worry.
Imagine you plot the data just like this. So you were familiar with this. Wasn't like a brand new It wasn't new to you how you were just using that system and plugging it into the viruses.
Well, yeah, I mean, once you know mathematics, and I know it intimately, and once you know computer programming, and once you know good science, you can apply it to anything.
Right.
I mean, once you know how to add 2 plus 2, you can add 2 plus 2 in any situation. You don't only have to do it in the kindergarten room. So once you know it, you know it. And what's been fun for me, epidemics has been a hobby since I was in high school. I never did formal papers in epidemics, but I did lots of biological studies. And then in the early 2000s, I was very involved with Rotary International on the polio epidemic around the world. So I really started studying a lot about epidemics and understanding how viruses spread and vectors and whatnot. And we eradicated the world of polio and through that effort. And I was a big part of that. It's one of my proudest times, I think. But really, even then, I wasn't really publishing data on it. I was studying data on it. But I was going around giving lectures and talking to groups and raising money and doing the job. But what got me started was in high school, the AIDS epidemic. So I've been doing it since the 80s.
Okay, so this is right in your wheelhouse. So I called you. I reached out to you because you inspired me, and in ways you saved my life. You kept me sane, and I had that one constant to look forward to. I actually, just I went on YouTube. I went on YouTube and I started a channel, and a lot of what I was saying, I was suggesting the numbers, and every day I put the number that you had posted, and because you count down, you were doing the estimate, and I was basically just mirroring what you were saying. And that's where I got it from. So you said other people reached out to you. What about anybody negative? I know you did really good at policing the Facebook, and I guess people policed it well. That was a rare sight that it could have turned ugly, and it was pretty much peaceful is what I saw.
It is peaceful. You had to boot somebody today, and every time I boot somebody, I really feel bad about it. I don't want to boot anybody. Everybody is welcome. Different point of views, different religions. I don't care. But you've got to be courteous. And I just wrote a post about it tonight. I don't know if you read it, where I was talking about us all sitting around the dinner table. And if we can't, imagine we just finished a nice dinner together. We're all sitting around. Some people go to the study to study some data, and they come back with a report. Maybe Nellie gets up and sings us a song. Maybe a couple other people are having an argument about the news that day. But at the end of the night, if we aren't all still friends, that's a disaster. At the end of the night, we're all friends. We had dinner together. Okay, that's the way it's got to be. And if the site isn't that way, if somebody is not helping that environment be that way, I don't have a choice. I have to get rid of them. And some people come in, all they want to do is argue.
Yes.
So sorry, you're not welcome.
I saw a trend of that. I saw a trend where most newcomers, and then the people who had been there, also to their credit, didn't attack back. They would, and it's a rarity that you don't see it. You could say the sky is blue, and you are gonna get MF'd anywhere. And it was like, hey, listen, we understand your apprehension, and wow.
Yeah, the other day I saw somebody say, somebody made a post, maybe it was this morning, and one of the members on the page, I don't remember exactly who it was, said, "Are you here just to argue, or do you want to learn?" Right. And I thought, that is exactly what I need. That we want people here who are saying, look, we can disagree, but let's learn together. Let's figure this out. We're not here to argue. You can go. You want to argue, and you can go somewhere else.
Right. Yeah. And also, you were able to back everything. That you weren't making outlandish claims. Everything was like, here's what's going on, and here's the proof. It wasn't. I think it's gonna. Anyway, I'll praise you all night. But
thank you.
So you said you work with the polio and the AIDS pandemic. Is that true?
Yeah. When I was in high school, it was in the late 70s. AIDS was really going crazy, and I grew up near San Francisco, so of course that was like one of the epicenters. Okay. And they were telling us in high school, they were saying, we want all you guys to make sure to wear condoms and use all kinds of sexual protection because AIDS is the fastest growing disease killing teenagers in the world. And I'm just like a junior or a senior in high school. I don't even remember exactly. And I remember hearing that and thinking, I don't know anybody with AIDS. And I don't know anybody who's died of AIDS. What's going on with this? So I looked into it and researched a little bit, and I found out that what they were doing, they were right. In the world, the biggest thing that was killing teenagers was AIDS, but guess where they all were? Africa. So then I realized, wait a minute, this is a manipulative tool. They're trying to get us to use sexual protection by lying to us. So ever since then, I've been skeptical when I hear these kind of claims, and I always go back to the data. I find the data and track the data. That way, I don't feel manipulated. Sometimes the claims are valid, and I'm glad that I found out they were valid, because then I can believe them and act them accordingly.
Right.
Sometimes they're not valid, and I don't need to be all worried. Like yesterday, the governor of Ohio said that Warren County is a hot spot. He even listed our zip code and said, we're a hot spot. So you go online, you look. We haven't had a death here since May 24th. Okay, that's like 3 weeks, almost 4 weeks. Okay. And the number of cases, it's like they're gone. They're just gone. We're not a hot spot. Why is he saying that? So the local trustee called me to say, hey, help me figure this out. Why is he saying this?
Yeah.
So we tracked the data and explored it, and it's a bunch of bunk. So it turns out that today, hi Nellie. It turns out today that he retracted that comment. He said, yeah, it was a hot spot, but it was last month it was a hot spot. So he retracted the comment. But I think he wouldn't have retracted it if I hadn't spoken with her and she hadn't taken them to task.
Right. Well, there's no need to. There's no accountability. Anytime they do apologize, they just they don't. It's not breaking news. That's not the breaking news. Like governor issues an apology. It's like oh, I already apologized for that. Oh, okay.
So, I did a public service there, right? The trustee called me, and we worked through it, and she took care of it. And now the governor's withdrawn his accusation, or claim, anyway, I should say. And she's not the only one. I don't want to give away any names because I want to protect their privacy.
Sure.
But there are several politicians around the country that regularly send me data ahead of time. And I work up the data for them. And then they know how to go to the public. They're ready. They know what's happening. They know how to, in one particular case, he came to me and he said, everybody's all worried about cases in my area, but there are no deaths. What do I do? And so I did a calculation, and I said, guess what? Next Friday, you're going to have 2 deaths. Get ready. And he's like, okay. So he started getting ready, and I was wrong. It was Thursday, not Friday. Okay. But he was ready, right?
Right.
He was ready. And he knew how to prepare. He knew how to think about it. He had his words ready. He's in front of the people. He knows exactly. I did public service.
Good. Why would they lie to us? Why do you think that they lie to us? Why do you think that they manipulate us like this, or mislead us?
I really hate saying that people lie, but I will tell you this. My parents always raised me that way. I really don't like to say that people lie. But I will say this. Early on our page, we had an epidemiologist on the page.
Okay.
And he was very, very angry with me. If he had just been more civil, I would have loved to have him stay on the page, because he was a trained epidemiologist, professor at a university, and I think we could have learned a lot from him.
Right.
But the problem was he was absolutely livid. He was sending me PMs every day. Full of profanity and anger, and he would post things that were inappropriate on the page. And he was basically saying, Doug, you are going to kill people. By doing what you're doing, you're going to kill people. Because we've already done the research. We epidemiologists we've all been trained. We've all studied this together. We know that the right way to show the data to the people is in a certain way. And when we show it to them in a certain way, we know they'll behave the way we need them to behave.
Right. Well, you said the quiet part out. You said the quiet part out loud there. We know how we get them to do what we want. I think I just read something Fauci said, which I haven't seen in a while. not for nothing, but he said we told people not to wear masks because we didn't want them to panic and buy masks. Well,
that's the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Should you wear a mask or not? Tell us the truth. If we need to wear masks, teach us how, and then we'll do it.
Yeah.
If we don't need to wear masks, tell us we don't need to wear masks, and tell us why, and we'll do it. But don't lie to us.
Yeah.
That's simple. But that's not the way they're trained in school. And I've spoken to a couple epidemiologists now, and they are all trained the same way. They're taught. That's why all the states are reporting it in the. Well, not all the states. That's not fair. That's why most of the states, right from the beginning, all follow the same pattern. Because guess what? They're all trained in the same schools for the same set of ideas, and so they do what they're trained to do. The thing about it is that it's fine at the beginning of an epidemic, maybe, to report things the way they were doing, but as things progress, then you could start seeing the differences, and then you started going, something's not right here. This is not okay. And I'm so glad that I separated myself from the media because, now I've heard a little bit, and boy, oh boy, it's just really bad out there. I don't know if I could have maintained my objectivity as well as I have if I had been listening.
How could you, right? Doug, I don't vaccine. I don't take medicine. I believe in my immune system, and that's my whole thing. Yeah. But the power of the media and the propaganda and whatever they got going, it could get. I got a devout Christian neighbor who, on day one, he was like, you know what? If Christ comes, he comes. 3 weeks later, he's all bloodshot, because I don't know how. And honestly, people now are still. I know that there are some people out there still glued, who still don't go out, who still.
I know, and those are the same people that go every day on the television to get their daily dose of fear. It's like an addiction almost.
Yeah, it is. I had to shut down because I create content. It's all like goofy stuff. It's not scientific data, but I engage with my audience, and so you have to be in it. You have to be in it, and then plus it's a real thing now. It's not like something distant. And I was having anxiety attacks, and
I'm sorry, man.
And I was out of my mind. And I'm like a happy-go-lucky guy. I do have anxiety, but I was like, something's not right. And my brother, he's the best. He's always is able to talk to me because I was trying to quit smoking or chewing tobacco when I was younger, and I put the patch on, and I called him one day, and we're talking, and I'm like, man, I know you quit chewing and use the patch, but this is really hurting me. Yeah. And he just goes, well, take it off.
How simple is that?
And I swear to you, I was talking to my brother about the thing, and I said, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm constantly on the screen, 10 hours a day.
Turn it off.
And he goes, why don't you just turn it off?
Yes.
And I did. I called my mother once a day, and I got away from it. And that was before I met. That's before I stumbled upon you, because. And I came back into it, and luckily you were right there to scoop me to get me in the direction with
That's
that.
Awesome.
So I hope that and that was like the theme of when I was creating content was like, just turn the TV off for just try it, damn it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I don't miss it. And now whenever I catch like a sentence or two when I'm going through the room and the family's got the TV on or something like that, it's like it's sort of like if you haven't tasted food for a while, it's like it has a brand new stark flavor.
Yeah.
That's how every time I hear any news, it's like, whoa, I can't even believe that. And I'm out of that room, man. It's like nasty.
I do. I get anxiety watching any TV now. I don't. It's just something about once you, and this has been a couple of years, but once you know the secret behind it's like how it's cooked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
And I find myself just analyzing movies and all right, well, we've seen this scene 100 times, and I can't enjoy anything. It's so bad. And I'm not, I'm not judging their thing, but for me, it's like I'm behind the scenes and nothing new. So it has. So that definitely But I hope people just give it a shot. You know what I mean? The worst that happens is you go back in your house and you're wearing a mask and the TV will be waiting for you. You know,
Yes.
but I find myself just doing things I haven't done in years. I like lit a candle and read a book, and that way and that was my thing, and I felt wonderful.
Absolutely.
I mean, now I'm 100%. I made up for time.
Have you read Jordan Peterson?
Oh no, I listened to his podcast though.
Yeah, he sounds like somebody you would enjoy.
He yeah, and I think his daughter does a good job too.
I haven't listened to her lately. You know, he had a pretty rough go of it lately, and I haven't seen him for a while.
I feel like he is. I feel like he's the smartest person in the world, and he just looks at people and goes, not that I actually think but I imagine him like, are you serious right now? Like, do you hear what you're saying?
Yeah.
And I don't think he means to be condescending, but he just seems aggravated by the.
Yeah, he does get everything. I know what you mean. I've seen him in that tone before.
He's like,
it's like, you know, it's almost like, are you that stupid, really?
He's like, wait a minute.
Yeah. He's a professor. He gets away with it.
Can I ask you about?
Yeah, sure.
Can I ask you about vaccines? About your mandatory vaccines. The reason I ask you that is because you worked with polio. There's a vaccine for that. Is there an AIDS vaccine, or is that just a pharmaceutical medicine? I'm not too familiar with that.
I think vaccine now, but AIDS is not. It's kind of like cancer. You know, there isn't one cure.
Okay.
You know, people who get AIDS die of another disease. It kills their immune system, so they die of something. You know, they could die of a cold.
Right. Okay, that's right, because their immune system.
So really, all they're really doing. I mean, what would typically happen is they would give drugs to people with AIDS to boost their immune system, and it would last for a while, but then they burn out their immune system.
Okay.
So that's why they eventually die. So what they've had to do is they've had to come up with drugs that turn up your immune system, but not turn it up too much. Because if you turn it on too much, then you burn it out and then you die.
Right, just like you take too many vitamins, and then eventually it's like
MS. It's like MS, multiple sclerosis is like that. People, they have a limited amount of time that they can live after they've started that downward trend, and they sort of have a choice. They can either have like 10 years of really good life and then suddenly not very good, or they can have a gradual decline for 20 years kind of thing. There's like a limit. So that's kind of the way I have to think about AIDS. It's a gradual thing. You have to and they've gotten really good at tuning the drugs so that the immune system acts more normally, and then you're going to live a normal life. So they're not really curing you of it. They're sort of treating it. If that makes sense. It's
like an old truck that you kind of like got to put in oil every week, and it just needs more maintenance, I suppose. $500
a year service into it, and it lasts you for 20 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. The big hot ticket.
What do I think about vaccines?
Yeah.
You're going to ask. I'm a libertarian.
Okay.
And I believe the Constitution is the best document ever, man. And we should never force anybody to do anything against their will. So what I would do is I would stand up for the people and I would say, okay, this is our goal as a country. We want to vaccinate everybody against polio. And we need at least this percentage of you to be vaccinated, or polio is going to keep persisting and people are going to keep dying. So this is our goal. Everybody please sign up. Let's go. Then 90% of the people sign up. 10% of the people don't sign up. And then we deal with the 10% that don't sign up, not by forcing them at gunpoint or something.
Right.
We say to them, okay, look, you've made this choice and you're putting the rest of us at risk. So we would like you to please do these things. And if they will do those things, then everybody's happy. If they say no, then we, because it's America, we can't force them to. We should have some compensating behavior. Okay, well then, we're not going to let you come over this bridge into our island anymore because you're bringing a disease with you that we don't want. Whatever it is. In other words, to me, one of the premier values of America is liberty, and we should never force anybody to be vaccinated if they don't want to. And some people, there's a risk when you take a vaccination, and it's it's a small risk, but it's there. And so should I force some parent to vaccinate their child when there's like a 1 in a million chance that their kid will die from it? Heck no. I should say to that parent, okay, here are the risks. Here are the benefits. Here's the risk. A certain number of cases we've had this problem. And, tell them the truth. Let them make the choice. Most people will make the right choice for them. And then that's what I think. That's what I think about vaccination.
I agree. I agree. I think if you want to vaccinate, that's your choice. If I don't, it doesn't.
Right. And there are a few people that, it's something like 90% on most of our vaccinations in America. I'd call that pretty successful.
Yeah. I agree. I'm libertarian and I'm a constitutionalist.
Me too.
So I think the only thing better than the Constitution is the Bible. So.
Yeah, I'm the same. Abortion is an example like that. I mean, I really think it's horrible, and I really think you're killing people. Okay, but that's my moral choice.
Yeah.
And so I don't think the government. I had a student come to me one time, and he said, "Dr. Franke," he says, "I know that you don't like abortion, and George Bush is the president right now. Wouldn't it be great if he just made an executive order making it wrong to do abortion?" And I looked at him and I said, no. I said, that'd be the worst thing ever. And he's like, how can you say that? You think it's murder. You think it's wrong. And I said, because then the next president we have, who has a different set of values than George Bush did, is going to make executive orders that I don't agree with. I said, that's not the way our country works. And I don't want my executives enforcing their morals on us. And then what's so cool about that story is that Obama was then elected with a different set of values than Bush Jr.
Right.
And he came back to me and he said, wow, now I understand what you mean. Because Obama would have had different executive orders. And so that's not our America. Our Constitution is set the way it is for a reason. I think our starting guys were pretty smart.
Yeah. Well, I think that a problem we have is that our legislation doesn't do its job. It's our legislators aren't doing their job. A lot of the change is coming from the top. It's either whoever's in power, the president, and now the Supreme Court making these two. I think that the first one, end result, I'm okay with. I don't like how it was done because you're taking half the country and the other half of the country, and now you're alienating. And I don't know the exact percentage, but you're taking a large swath of people and just saying, "The hell with you." When in reality, it should be. You elect everybody elects their chosen legislator, and then they come together, common ground, because now you've alienated the other half of the people, and it's like, well, then how are we supposed to get along?
If the legislature can't make laws, there shouldn't be laws. The purpose of the Supreme Court is not to make laws. The purpose of the Supreme Court is to interpret the laws that the legislature has made. And if the legislature can't get a majority to make a law, there's a reason they can't get a majority to make a law. And that means we shouldn't have that law.
Right. Yeah. That's how you get the pulse on what the majority of people, what people want.
Exactly. And then, but what's happened is that various parties have been not able to get their agendas passed through legislation. So they've tried to get it through the courts, and that's the problem. So it's like an end justifies the means, but they're really defeating the system. The system is set up the way it is for a reason. We need to stick with the system.
Right, to prevent, it's got that checks and balance. It's got that, whoa, we don't want, because literally what you're coming down to is 9 justices and the president. That's 10 people controlling.
That's not how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, that's what, but you know what? I shame on the conservatives, on us, because the Democratic legislation, they make it happen. They do the radical stuff. They will go out of their ways to push the legislation, and they don't care because they got their blue states that are, because they get the fresh idea. They get the big, the blockbuster. Hey, here comes this thing
behind them too.
What's that?
They have the media behind
right,
them.
Yeah. So they can spin it and blah blah blah. But shame on us as conservatives for relying on justices who 2 times in a row failed us on these 2 issues.
I haven't heard. Did they make a judgment recently?
They did the LGBTQ where they related the '64 Civil Rights Act.
Oh, I'm not following the news, so I don't know.
They made it so they included transgenderism into, and I don't talk
discrimination.
Into discrimination.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
So and they
included it. Okay.
and
so you can't discriminate based upon race, sex, and choice of gender.
And they wrote that it was that whoever wrote made the decision back then would have meant to include transgenderism, which is not a thing. It wasn't there in the '60s, but so and the swing vote was a conservative, and then and then the second one they just did, and I'm gonna blank on it. Along the same line.
There were a couple of decisions that just came out, and the principle of what you're saying is that they should not be the ones making that. The legislature should be making that, and then the judge should be interpreting what the legislature did.
Right, and it feels like anyway. I don't want to even get on that. Those are my viewpoints. But we as conservatives need to, and then the silent majority thing is just a sham. I talk to guys. I work with carpenters, and I got 20 guys on a job. They're all conservative Trump guys, in the majority of them. And I'm saying, hey man, this is some dangerous things that are coming down, and they're older guys. And they're like, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it in the election. It's like, I don't know, man. Hopefully you're right.
I already did the calculations. 20 to 1, man.
You think we got him?
It's 20 to 1. I did it over. I predicted it last time too in 2016. Over a year in advance. People were like, "What are you talking about?" I said it's 2 to 1. I did the calculations. 2 to 1, and everybody thought it was insane. But I did it even before Trump had the nomination. It was like October the year before. I ran the numbers. The first numbers made it obvious it was going to be a Republican. Then I ran the numbers. Then I ran the numbers on the candidates that we had at the time, and Trump was a clear standout. So I just went public, and I did the same thing on Facebook then that I did on Facebook this time. I posted it because, like my brother always used to say, he says, make a prediction, seal it in an envelope, mail it yourself, and then later you can say, see everybody, I told you what I said and why I said it.
Wow.
So I use Facebook for that. I put my predictions on there. Explain what the logic is, explain what the math is. I don't always put all the calculations up there because most people don't understand that anyway.
Yeah.
So, but I just try to put it up in a way that says, okay, this is what's going to happen, and this is why. Boom, and then it's crazy. Everybody argues and screams and yells at me for a year, and then I'm right. Okay, and so when this started, I said, okay. Now this time I was wrong though at the beginning, because I was basing all my calculations on what was happening in China, and I had bad data. So at the beginning, I said, okay, you guys, all this talk you hear on the media is BS. This is what's really happening. And I made a bunch of calculations and showed everybody. And they said, well, they're saying tens of millions of people, and you're saying 1,500. What's going on here? And I'm like, well, this is why I think what I think. So in other words, I always told people what I was thinking, why I was thinking, and gave the prediction. Now, when out that China's been lying to us a lot, okay, and suddenly everything started behaving differently here than it did anywhere else. Oh, I shouldn't say that. It behaved differently everywhere else than it did in China is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Then it's like, whoa, this is something else. So then I had to correct my assumptions, okay? But it's not an ego thing for me. It's not like, look at what I predicted, how smart I am. No, it's I want to know what's happening. Okay, and the media will not tell me what is happening.
Well, you proved the theory. You proved your theory, which is it's like a tool. It's which is amazing.
If I'm wrong, it's not like, oh my gosh, I'm some stupid guy. No, if I'm wrong, what's wrong with my assumptions? Fix it. That's the scientific method. The scientific method, you start with assumptions, you make a prediction. If it comes out the way you predict, you probably are right. If it doesn't come out the way you predict, okay, fix your assumptions. That's science. That's what you do. That's what a PhD means.
Right. You can't. It doesn't stop. Yeah. Okay. Last question, and
no worries, bud.
I do want to talk about masks. Masks. I hate that I have to talk about masks because I for some reason have developed a lisp when I say masks. I could say she sells seashells all day, but masks I can't do it.
You just can't do it. It's some kind of affectation.
Yeah, just gonna call them muzzles from now on. But if you can give me your mask and do some Dr. Doug science from me.
Yeah, I went to the store on the way home from work last week and walked into Kroger, and nobody was wearing masks, and half of the employees even weren't wearing masks. So I think people are tired of wearing masks. So politically speaking, I think people have kind of like, the jig is up. We're done with them, at least in some areas.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of observational. That's what I see happening. People are fed up with it. Now let's go back to it and talk about it in principle, because I think that's what you're asking me.
Yes, sir.
So I'm a data guy. If you say to me, Doug, should we wear masks? I ask you a question. I say, what is the purpose? Why would you ask somebody to wear a mask? What is the purpose of that? So take a simple example, and this is one of the ones I did on the live thing. A simple example, why does a surgeon wear a mask? Well, because if he doesn't wear a mask, when he's doing surgery on a patient, he will breathe his germs into the patient, and the patient will get sick. Okay, so a surgeon is protecting the patient from him. Okay, that's why the surgeon is wearing a mask, and that's very good. There's a clear objective. Don't infect the patient. Ding! We know what the purpose is. So guess what? We've designed a solution that fits the purpose. And so the surgeon wears a mask. He doesn't make the patient sick. And when he's done, what does he do? Throws it all away.
Yep.
An hour later, he does another surgery. Guess what he does?
New mask.
Clean mask, clean tool, clean gloves. And guess what? It works. It's done, 100 years in the making. They know how to do it. The purpose is clear. The method is clear. Ding, done. Okay. Now, let's do a little more complicated example. We have an epidemic coming around. Okay. What are we trying to do? The purpose is we want to stop transmission of the virus. I think everybody can agree. We don't want the virus to spread. Okay. So what's the best way to stop the virus from spreading? Well, definitely keep your friggin' hands out of your face. Okay. I mean, that is how you get sick. You touch stuff, you rub your eyes. Most people don't get sick through their mouth. They get sick through their nose and their eyes.
Right. Okay.
So keep your hands out of your face. Okay. That's the first. And then, by the way, wash your hands. So if you're washing your hands all the time and keeping your hands out of your face, guess what? That is a really good way to not get sick. So that's a way to protect yourself. So if we're trying to not spread the virus, that's a good way to protect yourself. Now, what if I'm sick? That's a different situation. If I'm sick, what do? I go, I cough into my sleep. Why do I do that? I'm stopping my germs from getting on everybody else.
Spreading, yes.
So that they don't get it on their hands and put it in their face.
Right.
Now, I could wear a mask for that. Okay. And I think if I were sick with COVID, I would wear a mask.
Sure.
Because I think out of courtesy to everybody else, I should have a mask. But guess what?
Yeah. If I was,
I need to throw it away every hour.
Okay. Yeah. If I was sick in my house, I would wear a mask. I would isolate myself to my bedroom. Yes.
Exactly. And you're doing that out of courtesy to other people.
Right.
And so I think I would do it, but I would wear it right, which means I would seal it up properly, and I would constantly be throwing it away, and I would be using good hygiene around it. Like, you never, ever touch a mask. If you touch a mask, you are putting on your hands what is in your mask. So you never touch a mask. And our people don't know how to use masks.
Right.
So the first thing is, if the purpose, like we talked about the surgeon, there's a clear purpose, there's a clear method, it's proven, let's use it. With our population doesn't use masks properly. Our population doesn't throw away their mask every few hours. Our population constantly touches and adjusts their masks. So the analogy I like to make is, you've put this germ collector on your face and you cough in it. and then you constantly touch it and adjust it, and then you touch everything around you. So you are carrying around the perfect infectious tool. Okay, is that so? I'm a bottom line guy. Let's do the experiment. We give 100 people in this community masks and 100 people in this other community no masks, and we see what happens. And I bet you, right now in America, communities that wear masks spread it more than people who don't wear masks. And it's because they're not doing it properly. So give us a few years of practice and training and enough masks and teach people how to do it right. Then I think we could probably see a positive effect from masks. But right now I think the net effect is negative. And I think I heard, before I went dark, I was hearing the WHO and the CDC telling Americans not to wear masks.
Wear masks, yes.
And I think they were telling them that for exactly the reason I just described.
Right, because they foresaw the issue. They did the calculation and said, well, that ain't going to be any good.
They didn't just do the calculations. They did studies. They knew already it was a bad idea. Okay, so then later, when everything started becoming all hyped up, then they vacillated. They went against their own science. And I don't know whether they did that for political reasons or whether maybe they just had a difference of opinion. But my point, the reason I bring it up, is because whichever way is the right answer, they didn't know the right answer. If they don't know the right answer, they shouldn't be telling us what to do.
Yeah.
If they knew the right answer, it's like if I'm going to be a surgeon, I know the right answer. I know I need to wear the surgical clothing and throw it away. That's different, right? We have hundreds of years of experience. We know how to do it. Let's do it the right way. They didn't know the right way, yet they were telling us what to do. And so the fact that they were flipping back and forth, that just shows you it was bad policy.
Right.
Don't make bad policy.
What?
Look, that's my mask opinion.
Yeah. And you know what? My opinion picks up right where you left off. The mask thing is gonna end whenever. In Ohio, it's already ending where you are. In New Jersey, it's not ending anytime soon. We have to wear it. Everybody looks at each other all crazy. Everyone looks at me like I'm the Grim Reaper.
I know.
But the reason people are wearing masks, I want to articulate this.
Yeah.
People are going to take off their mask one day, and it's not going to be because COVID-19 changed or the virus stopped transmitting. It's going to be only because somebody that they trust takes off their mask and says,
it's okay now.
It's okay now. But they forget that these same people that they just go on trusting gave both sides of the story and they just blindly followed it. And they don't see that they are only and you are why do you wear a mask? And that's why I want to know. People will say, why aren't you wearing a mask? I want to say, why are you wearing a mask? What is your intention? And if they say, well, I want to protect everyone around me, then I say, well, then why don't you wear a mask that actually filters stuff out, right? Because your handkerchief compared to an N95 mask, which is 97%, if you really think millions of people are going to die from this, and your effort in not having that happen is to go the bare minimum route of a single cloth thing or a right?
It doesn't even work.
Right. You're doing the bare minimum, then it's just become a symbol, and it's a
symbol.
It's
symbol of compliance.
Because Doug, we're not monsters. Like if they said you have to wear this mask because it filters the things that are 97% chance, and that's what we need, I'd be wearing a mask.
We would do it.
There would be no, if there was an asteroid coming to Earth and they said, you have to go underground right now, nobody would say, oh, well, I heard. No. The argument,
underground.
They told us an asteroid was coming to Earth. They told us Black Plague. This was it. Hunker down. Shut down the world's economy.
Yes.
And your best effort is a piece of cloth.
I know. Yeah, there's a similar thing. You know, I've been in churches all my life, and there's a type of person where they'll say, "Oh, there's this little village in Africa where the children are starving. Let's pray for them." And so we pray for them, and then the person feels like, "Okay, I've done my part," and then they go on with their life. And I'm like, "Wait a minute, the children are still starving over there. If you want to do something that'll make a difference, why don't we take an offering and buy them some food and send it over there? Then guess what? And by the way, we'll pray too. And then, we'll send it over there. And then guess what? Then I'll feel good about it."
Yeah.
But if I'm just going to sit here and like say a little prayer, and then that absolves me of all my responsibility, no, thank you. And that's the reason I thought about it, because that's exactly what you're talking about with the mask. It's sort of like, we have to stop COVID, so let's put masks on. And then they suddenly feel like they've done their part.
You've done, and it's a common theme. It's a common theme with these people. And once it became political, once it became Biden in the middle of nowhere wearing a mask, and how stoic he was, and how reckless Trump wasn't, it was being. You lost me. You lost me. Look, I was.
I saw that because I didn't even know all that stuff was happening.
Once it turned political, it's like, all right, it's over.
Sorry, jiggling the camera, sorry.
No, that's fine. All right, look, I'm on 10% battery.
Okay, sure.